Oluyole and Tola. Terrible. Enjoy it.
Conversation with Dayo and Tola. Conversation with Dayo and Tola.
Thank God it's Friday. A beautiful Friday morning to you from wherever you're listening across the world. This is Oluyole 98.5 FM, and it's time for Conversation with Dayo and Tola. Check your time, is 6:30 a.m. and this is how we do it Mondays through Saturdays, 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. right here at Oluyole 98.5 FM. This is a newspaper review program with top-notch analysis. I am Oladayo Ogunbowale.
Tola Teriba, good morning.
So it's the third day of the 7th month, the month of June, year 20. You're listening, we say good morning and thank God it's Friday. This is a radio network program broadcasting live at the radio network of the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State. And this is how we do it right here from our Ilia Kede Orita Basharon studios. Of course, you know, we are live in Oluyole 98.5 FM and also coming to you live via Agility 92.1 FM, Okyogun 96.3 FM, and of course for our online audience, we're also live on Twitter at Oluyole FM. Live means we're streaming live right now as we speak. We're also live on Facebook, facebook.com/Oluyole 98.5 FM. So wherever you want us, we are there. We're also live on the online radio platform Mixler, mixler.com/Oluyole 98.5 FM. Wherever you want us, just type Oluyole FM. There's only one Oluyole FM all over the world. Our website is www.bcos.tv/listen. Type it in and you'll be listening to us live and direct. Go ahead on Facebook, drop your comment under the live stream. Go ahead on Twitter, do the same. We'll pick your comments and read it out for our listeners wherever they are to listen to you and of course hear your opinion. Once again, you are welcome. We'll go straight to the papers. I have a copy of the Punch newspaper.
And I have a copy of the Nigerian Tribune.
Federal government warns medical directors over rising deaths in hospitals. Treat emergency cases on stretchers if there are no bed spaces. Minister tells CMDs coronavirus spreading faster than system can handle. Federal government warns Nigerians. Ondo commissioner dies. Akredolu's wife tests positive for COVID-19. Pages 2 and 9 of the Punch newspaper.
Doesn't sound encouraging at all.
It doesn't.
Also have COVID-19. Ondo Health Commissioner dies. Government says 193 Almanjiri have tested positive in Kano. Customs officers test positive in Lagos. Government hospitals converted to sample collection centers in Abuja. And the East lockdown not end of coronavirus battle, says BTF. All this on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune.
Wow. Foreign reserve fell by $373.23 million in June. Nigeria's foreign reserves has fallen by $373.23 million in the month of June, says Central Bank.
And reps to probe alleged $1.035 billion domiciled in secret NPA account. No secret account will welcome probe, says NPA. That's on page 30 of the Nigerian Tribune. And we also have Buhari suspends NSITF MD 3 executive directors. I guess it's over the one that had 48 properties.
Well, that one should not be there by now. I mean, somebody's already undergoing trial. Should the person be on seats? I mean, that goes without saying. Should be away, facing the music. Nigeria's debt profile hits 28.63 trillion naira, says DMO. Which means if we are to be using our national budget, it will take us 3 years of our total budget to pay off such debts. And I hope we are applying sense and wisdom in this borrowing. Nigeria's debt profile, it's 28.63 trillion naira, says Debt Management Office. Details on page 25 of the Punch newspaper.
And also alleged 700 million naira fraud. Court adjourns trial of Edo APC Juba candidate till Tuesday. That's on page 14 of the Nigerian Tribune.
And for those who don't know that there's been an increase in fuel price, yes, it's on. I was at the filling station yesterday, 143. Some people are still surprised. You people don't listen to the news. At least buy newspaper or turn on your television. Say we are surprised. They are stealing. They are not stealing. It's not the filling station. But of course, you know, they usually respond to that faster than reduction. Petrol price, NLC demands reversal. NECA backs FG. Details on page 25 of the Punch newspaper.
I know it wouldn't really matter at what price the filling stations bought the stock that they have right now.
It doesn't matter. They don't care.
Just
as long as that information is out that they should increase, trust them. Or Tony. They immediately adjust by the second.
And that story is also on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. NLC kicks against new petrol pump price. A demand reversal to oil price, set timeline to fix refineries. They should be talking about the refineries.
Okay. APC caretaker panel visits Tinubu Akonde on peace mission.
Well, they're able to make peace before the elections.
The earlier the better for them.
What the president has been able to do is what I would call a fragile kind of
very fragile political solution right there. You also have this Dubai hands over Hush Puppy accomplice to FBI, so from Dubai to the US,
and then to Nigeria, and let's hope if eventually he does come to Nigeria, let's hope he doesn't work.
What's the assurance that
Well,
FBI
I
will
don't
give him?
condemn him yet. Well, he hasn't been tried well, but I hope he doesn't have a smooth ride and getting to Nigeria. And
Most of the money they stole are from US citizens, so those ones will want to try there.
So he has to answer to them.
Definitely.
All right, we have this one. Sambisa Forest, a major hindrance to routing Boko Haram. I thought they had gotten over this Sambisa Forest issue.
I was wondering too. But registration. One is a General Assembly sues CAC. It's not Christ Apostolic Church. Corporate Affairs Commission. And demands 500 billion naira.
500 billion.
Billion.
Wow.
I know when you finally it will sink in. Half a trillion. For what now? Yeah. Maybe when they begin to price it, and haggle over the prices, it might come down. Registration. Ohad is a General Assembly sues Corporate Affairs Commission and demands 500 billion naira. Details of that on page 18 of the Punch newspaper. We also have this Ojudu Adeyeye, not welcome to PDP. Guess who said it? Fayose. Page 19 of the Punch. Bros is back. He's back. He's back. Again. Ojudu Adeyeye, not welcome to PDP. Former governor of Ekiti State, Peter Ayodele Fayose. Peter the Rock. Page 19 of the Punch newspaper.
What happened to his case with the AFCC?
I don't know, but I think he's on bail, so he can afford to live his life. And these are people that made the news.
Yeah,
not too far. He's back.
PDP dissolves Southwest Caretaker Committee, screens 9 aspirants for Ondo Gilbert primaries. And we also have Ganduje, Oyegun, Oshiomole, 47 others to lead campaigns for Ize Iyamu. That's on page 31 of the Nigerian Tribune.
Chinese couple lock up 8 Nigerian employees for 4 months. In Nigeria or in China? Details on page 5 of the Punch newspaper.
Wow.
Well, okay. All right.
Such impunity.
I mean,
House rent agreement CFO orders to carry stamp duty, says the FIRS. That's on page 26 of Nigerian Tribune. There is so much about this stamp duty.
I mean, they are looking at using it to raise some serious money, almost ₦1 trillion for Nigeria. But guess what? It's usually the common man that spends small money that will eventually pay, because if on every transaction you pay 50 naira, even if it's 1 billion, 50 naira. And so the guy who transacts for 5,000 to 2,000 will keep paying 50 naira. You can see who is.
Money receiving.
Exactly. Man arrested for attacking Osun doctor, patients, vandalizing hospital. That's on page 5 of the Punch newspaper. And this is interesting because I know some people have started going to check their tickets that they didn't use, to fly in the last 4 months, because some airlines have said the same tickets will still apply. They'll just change the route, the date and all that. Hear this for regular air passengers. Passengers with cold, say 1, malaria 2, will not board. That was a particular airline, Aero Contractors, and I'm sure most likely, because I've heard of one other one that said if you cough you are gone.
It reminds me of what goes on in most hospitals now. When you visit most health facilities now, once you have malaria,
better to be safe than sorry. They will treat it as COVID-19. A particular airline said the same. Was it yesterday now, that if you cough on here, they will treat you like a COVID-19 patient. You just got that everybody will run away from you. They will go and wear PPE, and they will isolate you right there on the plane.
And when you get to any health facilities, either they refuse to touch you or they conclude straight that you have COVID-19. And the story that this is why the figures could be increased. I don't know. I'm not saying anything categorical here, but this is what we have been hearing, that case of
even if they diagnose them, they will have to still be tested anyway. So, I mean, it's when the test comes out positive that then you are, said to have had or to be having COVID-19. Let's take more stories.
Corruption allegation, Lottery Commission boss demands 5 billion naira compensation retraction. That's interesting.
Well, investors lose 115 billion naira as stocks reverse gains. Hey, it's not a good time for stock in Nigeria, in fact across the world right now. Investors lose 115 billion as stocks reverse gain. That's on page 29 of the Punch newspaper.
And on the foreign scene, we have Russians clear way for Putin to extend rule until 2036.
No, actually, bros, no one go at all.
I thought this
just keeps perpetuating himself. Keeps perpetuating himself.
But the people don't seem to mind.
When there's good governance, you won't really care. That's the truth.
That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes you can wake up, there's light, you eat your food, you can aspire to become anything, you make your money. Who really cares who costs the shot? Seriously.
So it's essentially African leaders who want to perpetuate themselves in power should take a cue from this. If you do well, your people probably wouldn't mind.
That's it.
If you stay there forever, as long as they are comfortable.
Man, any way governance works, people hardly pay attention to who, except the person is misbehaving. But if it's not, they don't really.
But when you make their lives miserable and expect them to keep smiling at
exactly.
you expect them to be happy.
Weaponizing poverty and all that. Yeah, the attention will be on that man living fine, where they cannot. So it's just normal. But when everybody is okay, I mean, we are provided for. And, I mean, why not? Why not? You want to stay there, continue. I think we enjoy your reign. That's the meaning.
But at the same time, not only Putin there. They should give room for some people. For people to try out that office.
Well, someone has once asked that the rule for places like Britain, where the Queen rules perpetually and they change prime ministers, does it only apply to them or some other parts of the world? We'll do for commercial break. Let's go now. We'll come back. More stories and the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere.
Breakfast your day every day with the nourishment of malt, milk and cocoa and the delicious taste of Milo.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
Conversation with Dayo and Tola.
So glad to know you're there. Still conversation with Dayo and Tola. 6:45 a.m. I am Ola Dayo Ogunbowale.
And I'm Tola Teriba.
We take more stories. You have some headlines there?
All right, I think we could take some sports headlines.
Oh, brilliant.
Leicester want to give up, says Ehenacho. And Joshua can make me lose to Wilder, says Fury. Atletico throw Chukwueze, that's according to a report from sports pages of the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Right there on the sports page of the Punch newspaper. EPL, Sheffield Armour Sports 3-1, and Greek spectators threw bananas at me, Udeze. Desus completes jank move. Atletico ponder bid for Chukwueze. City to know UCL fate from July 13. Prosecutors recommend Benzema's trial over sex tape. For Liverpool fans who carried the cup but were pummeled by Man City yesterday, sorry, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. That's the only thing I can say. That's about that here on the sports page. I don't know if you have other sports stories.
Well, actually, there is this one, sidelines on Nigerian Tribune on the lighter note here. And the story says when Isaiah told the customary court in Oyo State how he climbed the ceiling of their matrimonial bedroom and caught his wife with a client in bed.
Oh.
But guess what? He begged that the 12 years union should not be dissolved.
Yeah.
So your Tribune is now asking the question, why did Isaiah go the extra mile in the first instance to prove a case of infidelity in marriage?
Yeah. He loves his wife. He loves his wife. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Isaiah, sorry, eh? Sorry.
It's love. It's
labor of love. All right, it's a conversation with Dayo and Tola. We'll take major stories right now. Let me start with this. Federal government warns medical directors over rising deaths in hospitals. Page 2 of the Punch newspaper. The federal government on Thursday stated that it was disturbed by increasing rejection of patients by hospitals, saying medical directors would be held responsible for the laxity. The Minister of Health, Dr. Sagi Ehanire, who stated this during a meeting involving the Federal Ministry of Health, the Federal Capital Territory Administration, and medical directors in the FCT, also lamented that hospitals were delaying tests of COVID-19 patients, leading to increasing coronavirus deaths. Also at its press briefing on Thursday, the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 urged state governments to prepare for the worst because of the rise in the confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the country. The Punch at last month reported that there had been a surge in COVID-19 cases following the delay by hospitals in releasing test results. An Ibadan-based businessman, Mr. Omolulu Akeyosoye, who lost a friend to COVID-19, told the Punch that he was tested at the Jericho Specialist Hospital Ibadan on June 17 and told to come back for the results in 2 weeks. Also, many hospitals have been abandoning patients. For example, on May 7, Punch reported that a man, Wisdom Akman, accused the health workers of a primary health center in the Joju area of Songo in the Ado-Odo-Ota local government area of Ogun State of denying his sister Rose treatment till she collapsed and died in front of the hospital. Attend to emergency cases and stretchers if there are no bed spaces, ministers tells hospitals. Warning heads of hospitals on Thursday, the minister said no emergency should be denied attention, even if it means admitting them on stretchers or an examination couch to give life-saving oxygen. I appeal to all medical directors who we have specifically invited here today for this message that we shall hold each personally accountable for the outcomes emanating from your hospitals. Federal government warns medical directors over rising deaths in hospitals. This is not funny.
Very unencouraging news there.
Very, very, very not funny. Which means death tolls has been rising, but they most likely have not been attributing them to COVID-19, but because they could not attend to them, people are dying.
And recall the mystery deaths in Kano, in Bauchi, and recently Enugu also reported mystery deaths, which probably could be due to COVID-19. But if the lockdown and the series of protocols introduced to mitigate the spread effects and health impacts of COVID-19 have not worked, I think we should all share the blame. The Nigerian government at various levels on their part, failing to do the needful as regards enforcement. I mean, we saw brazen violations of lockdown protocols, people still traveling interstate when the ban was on, and the recalcitrant attitude of the average Nigerian. So that's why I say I think the blame should be on all of us. If we are on lockdown for so long and we still have these figures, we still have this rate of spread, then
We should share the blame.
I need to wonder what exactly went wrong.
Well, there's enough blame to go around. I think the most important thing right now is that we try to retrace our steps and do the right thing. It's never too late to do the right thing. And trust me, these healthcare workers that we keep, hammering on, are they well protected? Yes, hazard allowance. Do they have the PPEs ready now? Do they have enough to do their job? That's another question. Because if that is not happening, then we are joking. Nobody wants to die. They will not put their lives on the line to save another life. That's the truth. Let's be sincere with ourselves. But if they are now provided all what they need, and they still go ahead to behave that way, denying people health, care, then I think something should be done.
I know rather than doing the needful, you see a government that rather want to take on the health workers and tell them they are being sponsored by politicians in a lot of cases. The Kogi scenario, for instance, now we hear that the workers at the Federal Medical Center in Lokoja have downed tools indefinitely.
It will happen.
And I begin to wonder if indeed the fingers of the government are in that attack. Definitely wasn't that what they wanted in the first place, for that place to be shut down, so that
now it has been shut down.
Keep denying the fact that COVID-19 does exist in Kogi.
In the state where the chief judge died of COVID-19.
And they still keep
I hope they get rid of their living in in something paradise, because okay. You have another story there.
Also, we have COVID-19. We can change course on eased restriction anytime. PTF warns, says a ban on mass gatherings still in place. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 pandemic has admonished Nigerians not to take the recent eased restriction for granted, as it warned that it can change course anytime depending on the trajectory of the infection. Chairman of the Task Force and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, Mr. Boss Mustafa, gave the warning during a briefing in Abuja on Thursday, adding that despite the latest relaxation, there is the need to proceed with caution. He said one significant observation the PTF wishes to make is that new rise in cases is to be expected as nations start to ease restrictions. We shall, however, proceed with caution, and we shall not hesitate to change course when the need arises. COVID-19, we can change course on ease restriction anytime. PTF warns, says ban on mass gatherings still in place.
Wow.
I'm talking about mass gathering, the worship centers. I've seen quite a number of worship centers here in Ibadan. Well, they've opened, and but the issue of observing COVID-19 protocols is another thing entirely.
You've not started seeing so
The truth is that many of them are not.
Enforcement is key here. Mass gathering is dangerous to our health, and we can only call on governments and necessary agencies. Please enforce this thing. Enforce this thing. Health. Hope we don't end up blaming ourselves for wanting to go to church. It sounds somehow, but I hope we don't, because when you see people, if you give them one mind, they go 10. Hope we do the right thing at the right time, because the way this thing is going, God help us. Petrol price, NLC demands reversal. NECA backs federal government. That's on page 25 of the Punch newspaper. Let's quickly take a look at that story. What's NLC saying? And why is NECA backing federal government? Are they benefiting from it? Okay. The Nigerian Labour Congress has kicked against the new fuel price of 143.8 naira announced by the Petroleum Products Price Regulatory Agency on Wednesday, saying this might just be the last straw that would break the camel's back. Okay. The Congress demanded the reversal of the pump price to the old price, arguing that the prices of crude oil in the international market had only slightly increased from the previous price before the downward review was announced 2 months ago. The NLC President Ayuba Waba, in a statement on Thursday, described the hike in the fuel pump price and the proposed electricity tariff hike as a potent threat to run millions of Nigerians under. He asked the federal government to rehabilitate the refineries and disclose the timelines for this. Waba flayed the PPPR Executive Secretary Saidu Abdul Kadir for the fuel price hike. Waba said, quote, government simply wants to transfer the cost of its own inefficiencies to the Nigerian people. Nigerian workers say no to such. The extra costs that the PPPRA wants Nigerians to pay in order to promote growth and investment are actually the cost of profits made by countries that we ship our crude oil to. The cost of sea freight of the refined products, the cost of demurrage at our seaports when the refined products arrive, the cost of the frequent devaluation of our national currency, and the cost of official corruption by gatekeepers managing the downstream petroleum sector. The Director General of Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, Dr. Timothy Oluyole, in an interview with one of the correspondents on Thursday, said it was necessary for the price to be reversed, but demanded for transparency. Oluyole said the PPPRA template should be transparent so that it would reflect the price of fuel in the international market. According to him, the association has been clamoring for the deregulation of the downstream sector to allow for market forces to determine the price of refined petroleum. The NECA DG stressed that the subsidy removed should be used judiciously for the benefit of the masses. There lies the devil. There lies the devil. Have we fully deregulated? That's one. Then two, this subsidy that we're saying we are no longer putting, when the extra money comes in, where does it go? Is there even an account that can be audited of belonging to the NNPC?
You know, that's a question that has been raised over the years.
But
NNPC account.
easily, people just shut it down. I understand in the last 5 years, I mean, I've said it times without numbers, and I'm saying it without fear or favor. It will be hard for anybody or any agency to open the books of NNPC as long as the president remains the substantive minister of petroleum. That's the truth.
Even when it wasn't.
I know. Even when it wasn't, we can always play around it. But as long as it remains, who will check it? EFCC, ICPC.
But I thought to be able to address these matters was one of the reasons the president took up that portfolio.
And that's my grouse. That we expected him to be able to, kick them in line and ensure that the right things get done. Unfortunately, nobody even knows the exact amount that these guys even make.
It looks more like the president's shadow is protecting the perpetrators now.
Unfortunately, it's like they are hiding, not like I'm trying to say the president is clean now, but I'm saying that the guys working under him, the NNPC, GMDs and the likes, both upstream, downstream, the guys at the refining, the guys handling the oil swap, that was a major discussion between me and someone yesterday, saying that no, when we carry money to go and buy petrol, I said, which money do you carry to go? NNPC is the sole, they handle procurement solely for Nigeria right now. PMS, diesel, DPK is NNPC that is buying it. What they are doing is that they are not carrying cash to go and buy. They swap crude oil. So don't be deceived by saying that it's more expensive to buy. No, that's not what is happening. There's something going on right now. They want to make extra money so that they can use it to reflate the economy in a way. And the PPPRA, because they are still the ones handling and calling the shots, these marketers that we have, these marketers that we call marketers, they only receive it when NPC brings it. It's not like they are the ones going to buy.
And unfortunately, Nigerians keep putting the bulk of the blame on them.
Very unfortunate.
When things go wrong.
Very, very.
When
I asked
prices
someone, I
are
said, what gave PPPRA the right to determine the price? Have you asked yourself? If it was these guys that are buying it, you know, I said, maybe. I said, there's no maybe. PPPRA gave, it was an order. He said, but they said we suggested, but it was clear. They are the ones who bought it, gave it to these guys to go and sell. I said, okay, sell within this price. They have no choice now. They have no choice. Very few people can buy independently, and how much of petrol can they buy? So one thing I could take from the NECA DG is this: we need to totally deregulate that sector. All this partial deregulation, why some people still call the shot and they are making money, you know, on
the unseen cabals.
Late last night, I was having a chat with a friend who works in a bank, you know, say a senior, you know, manager right now, and he was saying, you know, well, these are some of the things we can't really. But he just mentioned that some people in some places are already doing that same round tripping of dollars to naira that they did in 2016 when the thing was rising. He said he can confirm that that thing is back again. That some people collect money, you know. That's the much I can say about it, you know.
Then the issue of the refineries, that jinx. Who is going to break the jinx? Well, the NLC is setting the timeline now.
They are not the ones setting timeline. They told them to set a timeline. You know, it's unfortunate. If you check 2020 budget, there's every year turnaround maintenance. Every year turnaround maintenance for.
As far back as when I was in secondary school, we've been hearing this turnaround maintenance.
Even the year where, for example, Kaduna Refinery that will not work for 1 whole year. They will still say they are doing turnaround maintenance. People will still be collecting salaries there. I think if there's something we need to come together as a people to agree on and demand is for transparency in the petroleum sector in Nigeria.
And individuals are now building private refineries. And I'm sure those refineries are going to work.
We pray, we pray the the necessary people allow them do their job, because. What I'm seeing here, it might even still be NNPC that will still control those things. That they will say, we will sell you crude oil and we collect product from you. You just be refining.
Not be refining.
I hope we don't get to that point, because it's like some people are just interested in just holding down that sector. And this is our cash cow.
And I'm quite unfortunate. These are people that cannot be touched.
Touch, okay. The untouchables.
All right.
Take more stories.
We'll talk about national security now, and Sambisa Forest is in the news again. Sambisa Forest major hindrance to ending Boko Haram insurgency. That's coming from Defense Headquarters. The Defense Headquarters DHQ on Thursday explained that the military had been unable to overrun the Sambisa Forest, considered to be the operational base of the Boko Haram insurgents in the northeast region of the country, because of the collateral damages that would follow bombardment of the forest. Briefing defense correspondents in Abuja on the update of the military high command to end insurgents activities in the country, the coordinator of Defense Media Operations (DMC), Major General John Enenche, said troops were not unmindful of the collateral damages that may result from the bombardment of the forest. He explained that the terrorists mingle with civilians in Sambisa Forest who collaborate with the insurgents, thus making it difficult for troops to carry out major attacks on identified locations. Major General Enenche said, if we clear the forest today, they will go back to the place again. There are elements of collaboration. That's why we are seeking information about their activities from the public. And this will assist our operations in dealing with terrorists, as our troops are always combat ready to deal with any situation. Sambisa Forest major hindrance to ending Boko Haram insurgency, says DHQ.
Okay.
If there are collaborators, why do you want to spare the collaborators?
So they even cannot mention their names. For what are you hiding?
And the news was that Boko Haram had been decimated significantly.
Crushed, beheaded. Which other name?
So definitely, from what the reports we had before now,
they are back in Sambisa Forest. They arrange themselves in Sambisa Forest. We'll do for commercial break. Let's go on that break. When we're back, more stories, conversation continues. Don't go anywhere.
aware that you can now obtain your certificate of occupancy in just 60 days under the Oyo State Homeowner Status Scheme, OYHOC? Just buy the OYHOC recharge card for 6,000 naira only from the Office of Lands in the local government, LCDA, or at the Secretariat, Agodi. Register your application by following instructions on the back of the recharge card, as the PIN number on the recharge card is the application number, and only applications with a vital PIN will be processed. The good news is that CFO processing fee for various types of properties are affordable and can be paid instrumentally. Not only that, your CFO can be used for bank loan or any financial transaction. It is now digitalized, so information on it can be accessed anytime, anywhere in the world. Hurry up, this offer is only available to the 31st of December 2020. For further inquiries, call 0700-696-52637.
Conversation with Dayo and Tola.
So glad to know you're there. This is Oluyole 98.5 FM, and it's, of course, Conversation with Dayo and Tola. Thank you for staying tuned. All right. We'll continue with the stories. We'll take a couple more stories, and in due course, we'll open the phone lines.
We have this one regarding the House of Representatives and the NPA. Reps to probe alleged 1.035 billion domicile in secret NPA accounts. Welcome probe, says NPA. Now, the House of Representatives on Thursday unveiled plans to investigate the flagrant disregard for a presidential directive prohibiting ministries, departments, and agencies from operating private accounts with commercial banks since the introduction of the Treasury Single Account (TSA). The House passed the resolution after the debate on the motion of urgent public importance, sponsored by Honorable Oluyole, who expressed concern over controversies trailing the amounts domiciled in a commercial bank by the Nigeria Ports Authority and was made public by a whistleblower. To this end, the House resolved to investigate the alleged illegal secret bank accounts opened by NPA with the Unity Bank for collection of revenue from vessels, as well as ascertain the veracity of claims by both parties. In a still debate, Honorable Lawal noted with keen interest the controversies generated by a whistleblower who claimed that while acting in line with the whistleblower policy of the federal government, duly informed in confidence the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, about the secret account. The lawmaker also noted that the whistleblower alleged that the information they gave to the Office of the AGF led to the exposure of an illegal and secret account in Unity Bank, Lagos, purportedly operated by NPA. Reps to probe alleged $1.035 billion domiciled in secret NPA bank account. Welcome probe, says NPA.
Madam, I said they should come and probe them, so let's see how it goes. And I hope it's not under whistleblower that will be denied. Well, if they find an account, fine. If they don't, it means there's no money for him.
And I wonder to what end, if indeed that account existed, to what end was it opened? And this all brings up the question of the Treasury single account and recalling the purpose for which that policy was made this morning. Now, I need to ask myself, was the purpose actually achieved? Are the MDAs, the ministries, the better for it? I'm talking about the Treasury single account, which forbids this kind of thing.
Well, I think it's better. It helps the federal government to gather money together in one spot, and it reduces corruption to a very large extent. Because if you have multiple accounts, you can afford to just have some, quasi mode and all that. Whereas you might have the name of the parastatal, but the signatories might be individuals somewhere. But now that there's a TSA, for as long as they stick to it, every single kobo comes into one single account, government coffers. It's supposed to help, handling corruption. But when people still, decide to have other accounts, provided this is true, we are not saying it's not our job to determine whether it's true or not.
I think these have come under the lens of the EFCC by now.
Well, I'm sure they are doing their own investigation, and they should be able to come out with whether it's true or it's false. 08055 That's the number to join the discussion in the studio. Nigeria's debt profile is 28.63 trillion naira. We have a first caller here.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning,
Good
sir.
sir. Mr. Falodi.
I'm proud to call this for Papa.
Nice to have you. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, sir. It seems to me that inefficiency, corruption, exploitation, manipulation, everything has now been put on Nigerians to go and be paying for it on the issue of tax in petrol and that. That's the way I'm looking at it. Again, it seems to me again that the class is destined, as at now, to be ruled by leaders and national scholars, which I call their cronies. That's what is really happening. And it's very unfortunate. How can we be creating jobs in that country, destroy our own economy, and be maybe people in that country economy, destroy our state unemployment in Nigeria, and be creating jobs in another country? We have national interest. That is what is really happening in this country. My own prayer is that maybe after next generation, not this generation, the will be better.
Thank you so much, Mr. Falado. He has given up on this generation. It's unfortunate. On Facebook, Bade Ujuade is saying, you lead, others follow. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate that. You know, when a veteran is telling you you are leading, you are doing well. You are doing well. You are doing well. The phone line is still open. 08055009850. 08055009850. For the next call, Adeyem Adeshino, also on Facebook, is saying, good morning, folks. Stay safe, stay good. The virus is ravaging the nation, and our people still do not believe. How will they believe? What can we do? I wish I know what else somebody can do. Someone else is here.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Oh, nice to have you, sir. From where, sir? Okay, please go ahead, sir.
About the pricing of petrol, the problem is there. Remember that the European countries account for 41% of the total import. Asian countries account for 28%. American countries account for 60%. In the meaning, 60% is supported by African countries. So you discover that 85% of our crude is imported by Asian, European, and American countries. And when one thing with our petroleum crude is that when we carry it to them, they are the ones who will dictate the price. They will pay for us. So this is how much we are going to pay, and that is what they pay. And when they convert it to petrol that we put in our fuel, they will still tell us how much they want to sell it.
Exactly.
So we don't have control over the intricacies inherent in the oil market. That is why, because unless we open our business, unless we refine our products ourselves, we will continue to decline. That is the only way out. So Nigeria is a seller in the buyer's market and a buyer in the seller's market, as far as petroleum product pricing is concerned.
Appropriately captured, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That his last statement captures it all.
Very apt.
I hope we can get it right one day. Matthew Olale also on Facebook say NLC seek reversal on pump price. I think that this is medicine after death. As regards borrowing. Federal government should be extra careful as regards borrowing. May God help also. Yesu from Ilero.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Diane.
Grandma, good morning, ma.
All these things have been very sad. Over the situation of our country. May God help us.
Amen.
Where is Wadu and Evans cases? Let them not sweep them under the carpet. And where is Amoteku? Tola, this country is real. May God help us. Ọlọ́run kó gbà wá, ó sì sọ gbogbo wa. Kó lóde borí rẹ̀ mọ́ o, ẹ dákun, ẹ láyé yín.
Thank you so much, Grandma, all the way from Oluyole. Thank you so much. Adiola Sunday, also on Facebook, is saying, good morning, Tola and I, on COVID-19 rapid spread. It is alarming and it calls for spiritual solution. May God save and heal our land. Comrade Adiola from Shaki. The Tiger Akisomos on Facebook, the obnoxious increment in pump price is pulverized economy, is putrescent, quagmire, bigoted, bonhomous, belligerent, and a gargantuan, ginormous, myopic bombot. Always a comments to look forward to. Thank you, Kendi Tiger. Kiss on me. I will go back to the phone line.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir. Nice to have you, Prince. Please go ahead.
Now, I want to advise our people, because the way the issue of this COVID-19 is fighting back now, we need to do extra care. I want to advise our people, because if care is not taken, I say we will not end up blaming ourselves, because this thing is still increasing. Then the people are still maintaining social gathering and other activities. We suppose not to be so. So I want to advise people to please, for the sake of their life, not to take things for lazy hands. Then secondly, on the issue of heightened price of fuel, this government, this present government, in fact, they don't love the people of this country. It's as if they are putting on everything burden on us. We supposed not to be so. Look at what we are facing now. The economy has been crippled and some other things, and they are still increasing.
Hello, Prince.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Really appreciate your call. Odewumi Michael Olubumi. Good morning to you, Mr. DNT. This is to appreciate you for a daily wonderful conversation. God bless you. Amen. God bless Oluyole FM. Amen. And God bless Nigeria. Olubumi Odewumi from Ugumosh. Adeni Moses Adegoke saying good morning, DNT. The pump price increase is a deliberate attempt by the haves to continue to pauperize the have-nots, so there would be no one to tackle them on their evil doing again. But their days are numbered. From our mama area, Ogumosho, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Is someone else here? Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
Morning, sir.
The name is Peter from Ogumosho.
Okay. Please go ahead, Mr. Peter.
The issue of Boko Haram and Sambisa forest, our military are our problem. They have never told Nigerians the truth. A year or so ago, they said they had overrun the Sambisa forest and they have built a battalion there. How come that the defense Sambisa forest is the nightmare of this military again? If they had already overrun the forest and built a military platoon or settlement there. So they have never told us the truth. They are just taking Nigerians for a ride. May God bless Nigeria. I live for this country.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. But if you ask me, I think it's not really much about carrying the whole military as being the problem. It's more of the leadership challenge there. It's I think I'm of the opinion that if they change the service chiefs tomorrow, we'll see a change.
You see what's playing out in the case of Wadumi.
I mean, some people are complicit. That's the truth. Someone else is here.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir. Mr. Tayo, Mr. Tola.
Good morning, sir.
I'm speaking from Ogumosho. This is Asika Gola from Ogumosho.
Okay, nice to have you, sir.
Yes, I want to comment on the military.
Please go ahead.
It seems they don't know what they are doing. I think they are deceiving Nigerians. I think you recall that they said they have established university in that Sambisa forest. And now they are still complaining. that they don't know the next thing to do about them serving in Sambisa. Imagine the song of the defending Messi. They are saying they cannot identify the identity of the sponsor of Boko Haram. Have we not deceiving ourselves? Why are we going to this country? God bless Nigeria.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Isaac Agbola. Right there. God bless Nigeria. Today Ola on Facebook say, Dion Tola, good morning, God bless you. All we know in Nigeria, we like deceiving ourselves. Anybody that dies now is COVID-19. People die in accident now, COVID-19. Many have become millionaire or billionaire all at the expense of COVID-19. God save Nigeria. Oh well, COVID-19 is real, bro. It is real.
It is real.
It is real. Let's not trivialize it, please. Bolanle Areo, good morning, guys. Who is talking about our refinery or even NNPC? When last did NNPC declare any revenue? It's loss. They are used to doing that one. Instead, they keep on declaring loss. Yes. For instance, in 2018, they declared 65 billion losses. May God have mercy on this nation. Amen. James Folashade Oluseun, federal government and people in charge of oil are not saying the truth, but they should know that there is God in heaven. We'll go back to the phone line.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're close to your radio set, sir.
Please, I'm CY Wangpo from Okado.
Mazi, you're welcome. Please go ahead.
All right. I want to only talk about the pump price you're talking about.
Okay, sir.
It didn't make me to remind during the time that Jonathan want to remove subsidies. When they say that we will be buying fuel on
was it 2012?
125 naira. But then we Nigerians, we are shouting, burning tire on the road, say that Jonathan is not good, Jonathan is not doing this and that. But today now, fuel is 140 something now. Nobody complain, nobody say anything, because we are the people that vote clearly believe that he is going to do something about that. Let me tell you something. What I mean in this world is that there are two things that make content to stand very well. One is let me say transport. If the transport fare is okay, people are eating very well. That is food. That is the two things that make me to believe that the government is doing very good. Look, during the time of Jonathan administration, we are buying a bag of rice at 7,000 naira. That is what before Jonathan left. Today, rice is 24,000 naira. Nobody complains. Today, fuel is 140 something. Nobody complains. I think Jonathan is fuel at 85 naira. So that is the thing that we are going to look upon. If this administration will do something, let them revise this fuel to 85 naira where they meet it, and revise rice to 7,000 naira. So that is where we know that they are doing anything for this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Mazi Wanko from Okeado. 85 naira. That's a taller than Tola. In fact, Magbalu. Fumulala Adewale on Facebook say, good morning, Mr. Dion Tola. Hope you guys are doing well. Fine. Happy weekend to you. Petrol price is now competing with Nigeria electricity that is not stable. Ogao. On the issue of borrowing. When Nigeria is going to stop borrowing so that the incoming generation will not be paying debt, where's the giant of Africa? Anyway, we will continue to be praying for our Jerusalem, which is Nigeria. God bless Nigeria. God bless your state. God bless us all from Ogumosho. Oluwaseun Kikiola Okanla. Good morning, Mr. Dion. The NNPC are trying to generate their pocket. But at the end, the stock market, they declare loss. God will deliver us. I understand they want to join the network agents. Most of them stopped their free offer. E.g., okay, it's mentioning some telecoms company. We lost our call. Please call back. Kristen Bolahon Adio, also on Facebook, is joining the conversation, saying, good morning, Mr. Dion Tola. We Nigerians need transparency in NNPC. Yes, I agree. We all know that. To increase the PMS price again is very bad. Thank you. God bless Nigeria. Back to the phone line.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Tola and Mr. Dion.
Good morning, sir.
God bless Nigeria.
Amen.
Abdulaziz Maiwa from Mubanku, Ibadan.
Okay. Nice to have you.
I can remember that in 2014, 2015, towards the build-up to the 2015 election, there was this news featuring all around. When President Muhammadu Buhari become the president, we will be buying petrol for 40 naira.
You remember?
Professor David West said we will be buying it for as low as 35 naira or 30 naira. And a lot of news as regards petroleum then. And to be sincere, I can remember through all the stories that I've had that it was during his time that these refineries were built. But he can still do more. He is the petroleum minister, and he has been the petroleum minister since he got into this administration, maybe in the first time and now it's second time. He should please do more as regards these refineries, the maintenance, and everything that has to do with the petroleum. Bringing up the price, QPPRA, it is not good at this time. There is hardship in the land already. There is a lot of hardship in the land as far as personal economy and every part of the economy that has to do with the individual and the whole of the government. Can we now imagine bringing up the price again? We are already buying things at high price. Bringing up petroleum price will still give it more strength to go up as far as the price is concerned. Right. And then the money we are earning is not commensurate with what we are buying.
Thank you so much, Abdulaziz.
It's big money to buy little things. And secondly...
we won't be able to take the second one, Abdulaziz. We have a lot of people are queuing that don't want to talk. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Dejiola also on Facebook saying, good morning. So all this which is happening has been told earlier. These 4 years will be tough. Okay, he's quoting somebody there. I don't know. Wow, this government is... no, I can't use that word. No. No, we cannot. Back to the phone line.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, Monte. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Mr. Aruna.
This is Aruna from Oluyole.
You are welcome.
You said something the other time that don't let this country. If we have been praying for this country and the government are not making our prayer to work, how is the prayer going to be answered? I can categorically say like 90% of the people that called this morning, they are blaming government. They are not helping the matter. If we have been praying, God bless country, God bless Nigeria, God bless this, they are not making our prayers to work. How come? Look at the increase. Look at there is no day. Mr. Adetoye from Adelino Ogumosho first yesterday that there is no single day we are not going to hear bad news from Nigeria. Why? Why? The issue of borrowing is there. Pump price is there. Why are they doing this to us? They just try to help us. We are not happy. Nigerians are not happy. It's never done. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aruna from Odoro Ogumosho. Agbomojo Wulewa Aja is saying from Ogumosho, good morning. Who will pay all this money Nigeria is borrowing? Somebody will pay.
Nigerians will pay.
Please, Nigerian government, stop borrowing. God bless us all. I rest my comments for now. Thank you so much. Last call.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. Briefly.
I have a question.
Okay.
Why can't we ask the state government, the federal government, over the whole world to use all the money we have to provide testing kits, to make it so numerous, so that if you reach every nook and corner of the whole world, also of the community, to have 50 tests of this coronavirus. That is the main problem that is facing the whole world.
You are very right, sir. You didn't tell us your name, sir.
Like what you did during the HIV.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Your name, sir.
These people have been affected. Be separated from those people who have not.
Your name and location, sir.
But you don't know them.
Thank you very much, sir. Your name and location. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate you. That will be our last call for today. We are out of time. Mary's in the studio. Don't troll Liverpool fans. They won. Please don't. Please don't.
I don't understand.
I'm
I
appealing on
have
their behalf.
not even said anything.
I'm appealing on their behalf.
I haven't even. I haven't said anything.
You are putting on a red face mask. Please do not turn Liverpool fans.
This is definitely not related.
I'm appealing.
You know what happens when you take a guard of honor and you take a guard of passion along?
She has started.
I didn't say anything.
Spotted bits.
Leave it as of Mary.
.33, determined to make life difficult for Zinedine Zidane's men. Here Courtois saving from Macheta in a first half in which Getafe had the better of things. Mata forcing Courtois into a save there. Best opportunity for Los Blancos, this Mendy cross, Vinicius' shot and a world-class stop from David Soria in goal for Getafe. Absolutely brilliant from the former Sevilla keeper. Ramos with this cross into Isco, volleyed to the near post, well saved again by Soria, who clattered into the upright and forcing the ball wide for a corner. Images from the second half, which begins with this Luka Modric effort. Took a deflection to go wide. At the other end, an opportunity here for Mata, who tries to chip to Courtois. Not a lot of players have succeeded in doing that. But on 79 minutes, Dani Carvajal clattering into Oliveira to win a penalty. And you would probably put your life savings on Sergio Ramos scoring it, which indeed he did. A goal which leaves Madrid 4 points clear at the top of the table. Final score, Real Madrid 1, Getafe 0. The title ever closer to Real Madrid.
I see, great to see that still going on, but the game now is underway. Skipper, here's Berger out to the far side. This is better, some space for the Blades. Baldock, overlapping run from Basham to the byline. Basham will pull it back, Berger's in there. Berger will take aim, and Berger will find the corner. And Sheffield United lead here at Bramall Lane against Spurs. Really incisive stuff on the far side, and it is the club record signing, Sander Berger, who gets the opening goal of the game here. Looking to hit back here as Berger gets back, tackles Moura, but it's going to deflect into the path of Harry Kane in the area, and Harry Kane will slot the ball home. You know, it's sort of half hit the arm, half hit the back. Yeah, I can't. Just deflected, didn't really see anything in it. But the referee is going back, and the goal is not going to stand here for Ender Stevens. Now we're getting the box. Played into the area by Stevens to the byline. Osborne comes back to Stevens. Can he pull it back? He can! Mousset's there! And Mousset's onside! Nobody picked up Lys Mousset, who has the easiest of goals, gets his first goal this year in 2020. And Sheffield United have doubled their lead here at Bramall Lane against Tottenham Hotspur and look on course to leapfrog Spurs. No problem. Here's Baldock. Great run down the right, lung busting run, helps it into Berger, goes beyond his man, keeps it in. Sander Berger will pull it back, and he'll be fired home by Ollie McBurney, and the Blades are running riot here at Bramall Lane against Tottenham Hotspur. They've waltzed through the Tottenham defence there, and Ollie McBurney has his first goal since January to add to the two from Mousset and Berger. It's a fantastic night here, a Thursday night in Project Restart. West Ham in January. Here's Lamella over the top. Son will pull it back into the middle, and Harry Kane will turn the ball home from about 6 yards out. Chris Kavanagh, the referee, will put the whistle to his lips, and there it is, full time here at Bramall Lane, and a famous victory for the Blades.
Sterling. He's done well, Sterling, and that is a penalty. 25th minute of the game, and Kevin De Bruyne tucks it into the net, and City lead. Kevin De Bruyne is becoming City's Mr. Reliable from the spot. Now a chance for City on the counter-attack here. Phil Foden, Sterling, and still it's two. Raheem Sterling. Worked beautifully. Foden makes it 3. What a half for the Blues. And here's De Bruyne. It's a brilliant ball. Sterling. 4-0. City in dreamland. Liverpool enduring a nightmare.
Well, definitely dreamland as well. Manchester City found themselves last night when Liverpool came visiting right there at the Etihad Stadium. Of course, they got their guard of honor from Manchester City, but that was definitely the only thing Manchester City was gracious enough to give to the boys, the Reds, last night. 4-0 bashing, four goals right there, and also 3 points in the bag for Manchester City, and also bringing their names back into the record books. This time, Manchester City have their third straight consecutive top flight home win against Liverpool. This has been since 1937. Don't forget that last season Liverpool went down to the Etihad Stadium. That ended 5-0. There were a lot of excuses for that time, but the excuse for this time, maybe let me borrow this one from the tweets now of Cesc Fabregas, is these people for the past 3 days have probably been partying and all of that. Probably they just forgot that they had to face Manchester City. But then you can't take it away from them. They're still champions as it stands, talking about the English Premier League 2019-2020 season. So they still deserve all of the accolades. But Manchester City did defeat them 4-0. Good morning. Welcome to this Friday edition of Sports Tidbits right here on Oluyole 98.5 FM. There's a whole lot to look through today. For this morning, we'll be going down to the Spanish La Liga, the Italian Serie A, also from footballing world here in Nigeria, and also sports generally. Well, there is good news. The code of conduct has been released by the Ministry of Sports. Also, something coming in from Roland Garros. And do not forget, lovers of Formula One, it starts this today. Okay, straight from Formula One down to the Spanish La Liga and also the English Premier League. Also the Italian Serie A, Roland Garros action also right here for you. Well, let's kick it off. My name is Mira Kinshala. First of all, we start off from the Ministry, where the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development will today submit the COVID-19 Sports Code Protocol. This is to the COVID-19 Presidential Task Force and also the National Assembly leadership towards a slight easing up of individual sporting activities and also non-contact sports. Well, according to some feelers from the ministry spent the last 5 weeks working on the code, which borrowed heavily from similar sporting codes from the English Premier League, the La Liga, and also World Athletics and other sporting regimes. Now, the ministry also applied some aspects of the code developed by the Committee on the Adult 2020 Sports Festival. Now, the Department of Federations prepared the initial draft and also circulated to all sporting federations for their input. After a careful review of the document that has been benchmarked, and also that takes into cognizance Nigeria's peculiar health situation, which will be drafted. Now, the code has 2 special sections which are devoted to football protocols and also non-contact sports protocols. So as it stands, maybe we should say there is good news coming in from the world of sports, as if this code is actually taken up by the ministry, taken up by the Ministry of Health and probably the federal government. In a few weeks, we might just be seeing a return to sporting action here in Nigeria. Well, away from there, straight to the world of tennis, where Novak Djokovic and his wife Jelena have now tested negative to the COVID-19. Well, this is according to a press statement that was released by his people yesterday. Do not forget that Novak Djokovic, Bonacharic, also Victor Troicki, and Grigor Dimitrov tested positive to the coronavirus. That was after the Asia Tour. Although for so many people who did watch the Adriel Tour, you would have seen what happened rather. There was no social distancing, no masks in sight. Players were just hugging each other here and there. They were embracing. They played basketball. They went to the nightclub. They even hosted, how would I call it now, a concert during that tournament. But all of that right now, it's now down. So many people down with COVID-19, including Novak Djokovic's even own coach. But as it stands, Novak and his wife have recovered. They've tested negative. We'll be hoping to hear also some good news coming in from the camps of Dimitrov Troicki and also the other man right there. For all, so many people who are looking out to what exactly we will be having in Roland Garros for this year. Well, according to the organizers of the French Open, they are saying that Roland Garros will be taking a 50 to 60% of its usual capacity. So Roland Garros would not be behind closed doors for this year. Tickets will go on sale next month. So many people would be looking forward to how exactly this one will pan out. As it stands, the US Open, of course, they have said that it's going to be behind closed doors, and that will be coming up shortly before Roland Garros does happen. Well, still talking about some non-football stories. Well, for lovers of Formula One, yes, it's going to go down today. Well, I think at the moment the driver's presser is already ongoing, talking about Formula One. Well, yesterday Sebastian Vettel, of course, he spoke to journalists and he said that he did not understand why exactly Ferrari let him go. He thought he still had a chance to redeem his image, especially after everything that happened alongside with Charles Leclerc towards the end of last season. So as it stands now, Formula One will kick off today. We will get to see some practice sessions. Tomorrow we'll have qualifying, and then on Sunday the race proper, it's going to be right there at Spielberg, Austria. Okay, straight to some results. Talking about the English Premier League last night, Sheffield United, well, they cemented their top six right there after they defeated Tottenham Hotspur by 3-1. Well, quickly, my opinion on this one. I think Tottenham Hotspur, in my opinion, what I saw yesterday from Tottenham, it's I don't think any club who plays like that, they deserve to go to Europe next season. Like I said, my opinion, I don't think they deserve to go to Europe next season. There was nothing spectacular about that team yesterday. It was shoddy. There was it was disjointed. They just did not understand each other. It just looks like 11 strangers came onto the pitch and they wore Tottenham jerseys. Also, you want to look at the managerial position. Jose Mourinho, of course, he also will get some knocks for whatever that happened right there yesterday at Bramall Lane. But for Sheffield United, it's good news. Do not forget that post-COVID-19, they haven't been really doing good. Also in the FA Cup, they lost to Arsenal. After that was after Dani Ceballos got that goal during at the time. But as it stands now, they have defeated Tottenham. It's going to be a very huge boost to their top six hopes. They will be looking to make sure that at the end of the day they make it back to the continent. It's going to definitely be the Europa League. We will get to see that one. But for Tottenham Hotspur, they need to go home. They need to sit down. They need to look into their team again. They need to look into the squad. They need to dig deeper and find out what exactly the problem lies and also fix it if they are still looking forward to making it to the continent talking about next season. Well, straight to the other Premiership game that happened last night. That was when Manchester City, when they went up against Liverpool, gave them a guard of honor. And also after that, Sterling, Foden, De Bruyne, and also Alexander-Chamberlain also forgot probably that he played for Liverpool and he helped Manchester City now to go. Well, he scored an own goal in that game. So 4-0. It ended in favor of Manchester City. They got 3 points. They got 4 goals. They got a clean sheet, which is huge. If you look at everything, we're standing well away from the Premier League last night, straight to the Spanish La Liga. Well, for Real Madrid, as it stands, well, thanks to the second half Sergio Ramos penalty, well, they have now gone 4 points clear on the top of the table. Kike Setien and his boys need to look around them and know that this then looks like it is slowly going away from them. Remember when England thought they were going to win the World Cup? That was back in 2018. COVID-19, and they said it was going to come home. Wikiki Setting needs to look back and say it looks like it's not coming home anymore. They need to get their act together. They still have some games to go. Probably Real Madrid also, they would also sleep, but nothing is over. Just like I would always say, it's not over until it's over. Well, other games that happened last night, rather than the Spanish La Liga match day 33, well, Ruben Garcia, a brace for Osasuna, helped them sink about 2-0 then that in that game. Real Sociedad had to leave it late for them to defeat Espanyol by 2-1. This had to be a good ray of hope for Real Sociedad. Everything was standing, especially looking at post-COVID-19 after they have been unable to get the job done. Well, straight to the Italian Serie A last night. Well, Udinese, before this game, they had gone 9 games without a win. But when they came to the side, the Olimpico last night against the 10-man AS Roma, they got the job done. 2 goals. They defeated our AS Roma 2-0. That one ended well. For the other big game for so many people last night had to be when Gasperini went up against Gennaro Gattuso. This was one game so many people look forward to. Well, the first half definitely had a whole lot of trouble after David Ospina was stretch it off when he had that head injury. But when they came back into the second half, well, Atalanta definitely got the job done. 2-0 that game ended. All the way from there now straight back to the English Premier League. Well, Leicester City boss Brendan Rodgers says Leicester City needs to reset mentally. This is if they want to stay in charge of their Champions League destiny after they slumped continued with a 2-1 loss at Everton. Well, the Foxes remain third in the Premier League, but they are fading, claiming just 2 points from their 3 games since the Premier League resumed. Well, they were fortunate enough that fourth place Chelsea failed to take advantage, also losing on Wednesday. But in from Manchester United and also Wolverhampton are just 3 points behind with 6 games to play. Well, if you would ask me, I think the battle for top 6 this season has been really interesting. Look at Wolverhampton Wanderers, Manchester City, Chelsea, Leicester City, and also Tottenham Hotspur. All of those teams trying to make sure that they found their way into Europe. That's talking about Champions League football at the end of the day. Nothing looks sure by the day. Clubs are just dropping left, right, and centre. I think this is still going to go down probably to the very last day of the English Premier League for this season. Well, finally on the sports tidbits this morning, let's go straight to Real Madrid. Well, Real Madrid will officially launch their women's team after the Spanish Football Federation approved a deal to merge with CD Tecon. Now, Real agreed to take on Madrid side Tecon last year after they were promoted to the top division of Spanish football, a move that was subsequently approved by the club's members. Well, Tecon retained their name, their badge, and also their kit last season, but they played and also trained at Real's Valdebebas facilities, finishing in the 10th in the 16-team division. They will now be named Real Madrid Femenino, and in addition to the senior team, Real will also create teams between under 16 and also under 19 level. Well, interesting thing right there, looking at how in recent days, lots of male football teams have been trying to adopt female football teams. They've been trying to come up, they've been trying to merge and create their own. Well, it's a good one for female football all over the world. We just hope that at the end of the day, very soon, we will talk about their productivity and also how much they bring to the table before we even get to the equal pay conversation. Well, this is where we wrap it up this morning on Sports Tidbits right here on Oluyole 98.5 FM. Special thank you to everyone who listened to us right there from Agility FM 92.1, Okyogo FM 96.3, on the website, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. We're saying a huge thank you for being a part of the show. Do not forget that by 2 p.m. right there on BCUS TV, we will be having Sports Update. It's going to be 1 solid hour talking all the sporting action that will be happening for the weekend. I'll see you right there. My name is Mira Akinshala. Have a good day ahead. Bye for now.
CG the Hitmaker.
Looking for the best in news, sports and entertainment. We got everything you need and so much more, yeah.
98.5 FM. Oluyole. 98.5 FM.
Hear me now. You're down to the #1 station. Educative and quality information. Lighting up your day in so many ways. Tune to 98.5.
Oluyole. 98.5 FM. 98.5 FM. Oluyole. 98.5 FM. 98.5 FM.
It's 10 minutes to 8, and you're very much welcome to our commercial belts.
Hey, make una come help me touch like this matter. Mama Jenny ask her husband for 1,000 to cook food. He get 5,000. Waiting be that.
Now who for you?
As she dey cook, phone for screen scatter. She can't tell her husband say make him change the screen. Instead, he change the phone. Buy a better one. Waiting be that.
Now who for you?
What of the shoe she talk say she won't buy? As she show him, now 5 different shoe him buy for them one time. Waiting be that.
Now who for you?
She can't tell him say she won't travel go Abuja, but instead of night bus, him buy plane ticket. Call lodger for 5-star hotel. I beg. Waiting be that. Oh.
Now who for you?
Yes, so I will for you now. You won't get 5 times better from MTN. Now, when you recharge with star 888 star pin hash on top your MTN line, MTN will summer you with 5 times your recharge. You fit also enjoy this AWOOF for on top MTN top it. Just ask your vendor for AWOOF for you. This offer now for both MTN prepaid and postpaid customers. Terms and conditions dey.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
àtọ́tún arére gbogbo èèyàn pínlẹ̀ ọ̀yọ́ tá a bá fọwọ́ wẹ́wọ́ lọ́wọ́ fi mọ̀ ká lè bá àwa jọ gòkè àgbà lábẹ́ ìjọba omi tuntun tí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀yọ́ onímọ̀ ẹ̀rọ ṣèyí mákindé léwájú ẹ̀ la ṣe ń rọ̀tọ̀ lórí tẹlẹ̀mù láti fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú iléeṣẹ́ tó ń ṣojú ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀yọ́ ITC advisory àti one up technology partnership pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn iléeṣẹ́ tó ń pa owó wọlé lábẹ́nú nípínlẹ̀ ọ̀yọ́ ọ̀yọ́ state board of internal revenue nípa mímọ àṣetọ́ yín lóòrèkóòrè lórí àwọn owó tó jẹ́ tìjọba owó orí iléeṣẹ́ àti tẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan wa owó àyè ìdókòwò owó kẹrùsọ́kọ̀ àti jíjẹ́rù nínú ọkọ̀ tó fi mọ́ owó sàn láwọn ọjà wa gbogbo níjọba ìbílẹ̀ mọ́kànlá àtàwọn SCDS tó yí Ìbàdàn po kálíbà jẹmu kútù ìjọba àwarawa dáàyè tó ga tẹ́ bá ti wá rí gbogbo àwọn aṣojú iléeṣẹ́ ITC advisory àti one up technology partnership tó wà ní kìlómítà 5 Ògúngbadé junction Ìbàdàn Ifẹ̀ expressway Ìbàdàn ẹ jẹ́ ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú wọn kí ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ó lè gòkè àgbà fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ nọ́mbà yìí ni kẹ́ ẹ máa pè 080-3237-3200 olùkéde ITC advisory àti one up technology partnership pẹ̀lú ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ state board of internal revenue.
It's time to win with ITEL. Yes, you could be one of the 10 lucky winners to win 100,000 naira each and lots more in the ITEL Season of Winnings promo. Buy any of the ITEL P36 series, P15, A56, A33 or A36 smartphones from June 15th to July 15th and you could be 100,000 naira richer. There's more. ITEL is offering 100 days free screen service repair on any of the ITEL P36 series. Terms and conditions apply. ITEL. Join. Enjoy.
So I don't write jollof rice, fried rice, pounded yam, egusi,
rice
chicken.
and stew, jollof rice.
Thank
you. All this plenty kind food one na dey call so. Now wetin we go chop for the naming be?
Yes, ma'am.
See, enjoy.
No be small.
You see, mama baby, the same way when we get different kind of food. Now so we get different kind of child-birth spacing method. So child-birth spacing go make your belly sweet well, and your body too, e go tanda. Anyone wey you choose good for body and you go fit trust am.
Auntie Nurse, my just don dey talk about am o, but me I dey fear.
See, no culture or religion wey no dey support anything wey go make life better. Make you and your Jasper come when una ready. I go dey wait for una o.
Okay. No forget say anyone wey you choose for childbirth spacing matter dey safe and you fit trust am. Oya waka go any health center wey get the green dot logo to get full information on childbirth spacing services. This message na the Federal Ministry of Health and support from American people. Carry and come.
Títí sí ìkéde yìí, à ń wá ọmọdékùnrin